Dan the gardener. A name many Chateau YouTube fans know well. Once the quiet and hardworking friend from the Chateau diaries, Dan has stepped into the spotlight with his own massive project, saving the ruined Château de Chaumont. It's a story of passion, risk, and determination. But with every new video, the debate grows: is Dan making real progress, or has he bitten off more than he can chew? Today, we're taking a closer look at his journey, the updates on this historic property, the questions fans are raising, and what might really be happening behind the scenes. Spoiler alert, it's not all smooth sailing. Let's start at the beginning. When Dan first showed Château de Chaumont on his channel, it was clear this was no ordinary fixer-upper. This wasn't just peeling wallpaper and creaky floors, this was a roofless ruin. The chateau, nestled in the French countryside, has a haunting beauty. Parts of the structure are intact, but others have collapsed entirely. It's the kind of place where you can literally see the sky through what used to be a ceiling. For most people, buying such a property would be unthinkable. But Dan saw potential. His vision? To stabilize, restore, and bring new life to a piece of history. At first, the excitement was infectious. Viewers loved the idea of a humble gardener taking on such a grand project. The early videos showed small victories, clearing debris, securing walls, and learning the complex history of the building. It felt raw, authentic, and full of promise, but as the months rolled on, reality started to set in. This wasn't just a renovation. It was a rescue mission. And one that might take years, if not decades. Section 2, the tower climb drama, and then came the tower video. If you missed it, Dan recently filmed himself climbing the unstable tower of Château de Chaumont. It made for breathtaking footage, views stretching across the countryside, a cinematic moment of triumph. But the reaction? Mixed. Half the viewers were amazed. Comments like, "Wow, Dan is fearless. This is incredible to watch," and "I admire his dedication, most people wouldn't even step foot in that place." But the other half were concerned. One comment read, "Dan, you're a gardener, not an acrobat. Please don't risk your life for YouTube views." Another said, "Where's the safety gear? Where's the structural engineer?" Even supporters started asking, was this moment about progress, or was it about creating content? And that's the tightrope Dan is walking, literally and figuratively. He's working on a building in an advanced state of decay, with huge safety and engineering challenges. But at the same time, he's running a YouTube channel, which thrives on storytelling and spectacle. It's a fine balance, and it's not surprising that viewers are debating where that line should be. Section 3, slow but steady progress. Now, let's talk about the actual progress. Since purchasing Château de Chaumont, Dan has made visible improvements. Structural reinforcements, cleared areas, and some essential stabilization work have been done. He's also brought in specialists for advice. Despite what some critics claim, Dan has openly mentioned consulting professionals. But here's the thing, this is not a quick flip. Restoring a chateau in this condition is a long, expensive, and grueling process. As viewers who expected rapid transformations, the kind you see on reality TV renovation shows, are feeling impatient. They want the grand before and after moment. But anyone who knows old buildings understands, that's not how it works. The reality is slow, painstaking work, often hidden behind the scenes, and to be fair, Dan hasn't sugarcoated that. He's shared the struggles. He's admitted the enormity of the task. But with weeks, sometimes months, between updates, some viewers have started wondering if the project has stalled. That's led to speculation. Is he running out of time? Money? Motivation? Or is he simply being realistic about what can be achieved without rushing into costly mistakes? Section 4, the financial elephant in the room, and that brings us to the question no one really wants to ask but everyone is thinking about, the money. Buying a chateau is one thing. Restoring it? That's an entirely different level. We're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of euros for a property in this state. Unlike some chateau YouTubers who heavily monetize through merchandise, Patreon, or hosting events, Dan's approach seems quieter. He's making ad revenue from YouTube, sure. He likely has some supporters contributing. But the funding strategy isn't flashy or heavily marketed. Some viewers admire that. They say it makes Dan's channel feel more authentic, less commercialized, but others wonder, is it sustainable? Will this project simply hit a wall one day because the finances can't keep up? There's no clear answer, and Dan hasn't gone into deep detail about his budget. And honestly, he's not obligated to. This is his life, his project. But on a public platform like YouTube, mystery can lead to rumors. For now, it seems like he's making it work piece by piece, using local materials, help from friends, and lots of sweat equity. It's admirable, but undeniably risky. Section 5. The man behind the project, and then there's Dan himself. In some recent videos, viewers noticed he looks tired. Understandably so. This is backbreaking work, both physically and mentally. Dan isn't a wealthy developer with a massive team. He's one man who decided to take on a property most people would consider beyond saving. That makes him relatable, and it's why so many people root for him. But it also means the toll is real. Long days, constant problem solving, unexpected expenses, these things wear anyone down. It's also a huge shift from the life he had before. On the Chateau Diaries, he was the gardener, trusted, skilled, but with a clear, defined role. Now, he's the owner of a massive ruin, bearing the full responsibility of its future. Some fans wonder if the isolation of the project has made it even harder. Unlike some chateau owners who have partners, family members, or a team living on site, Dan seems to be carrying this largely alone. That's a lot for anyone. The big question, so, where does that leave us? Château de Chaumont is still standing. Progress is happening. Even if it's slow. Dan remains committed to the project, despite the risks, the setbacks, and the public scrutiny. But the bigger question is one only time can answer: will this story end in triumph, a once-forgotten ruin brought back to life? Or will it serve as a cautionary tale about how massive these projects really are? For now, all we can do is watch, support, and keep the conversation going. So, what do you think? Is Dan the gardener a brave visionary breathing new life into history? Or has he taken on a challenge that no one, not even the most determined YouTuber, could realistically conquer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep up with all the Chateau drama, progress, and inspiration, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates. Be sure to give my video a thumbs up. Be sure to check out my merch. Chateau Walls has mugs, notebooks, shirts, and sweatshirts available. Please check this out in the description below. Thanks for watching, and here's to hoping Château de Chaumont continues to rise from the ruins. Let me know other chateaus that you want to hear about, including building, renovations, and just deep dives into the history. Next, why some chateau projects fail, and what makes others succeed.